In a small but bustling city, where life moved with the rhythm of car horns, crowded markets, and restless ambition, there lived a young man named Ali. To anyone who met him, Ali appeared sharp, intelligent, and capable. He was hard-working at his job, caring towards his family, and had a loyal circle of friends. But beneath this promising exterior, Ali carried a weakness that quietly sabotaged everything he touched. His uncontrollable anger. Ali's temper was like dry straw waiting for a spark. A careless word, a small delay, or even a traffic jam could ignite his fury. His outbursts were not just words, they were storms aloud, destructive, and painful. He would shout, slam doors, throw objects, and afterward feel crushed by guilt. Many times, he promised himself to change, but when anger came, it always overpowered him. One day, something happened that shifted the course of his life forever. Ali worked at a respected company as a project manager. He had just finished leading a month-long project that demanded sleepless nights and endless meetings. On the final day of submission, his junior, Hamza, mistakenly sent the wrong file to the client, an earlier draft filled with errors instead of the polished report. When the client replied with sharp criticism, Ali's blood boiled. His chest tightened, his vision blurred, and without thinking, he stormed into the office, shouting at Hamza in front of everyone. "You fool! Do you know what you've done? Do you even realize the damage you've caused? Because of your stupidity, we might lose this client forever." Hamza, a quiet young man who respected Ali deeply, stood frozen. His eyes welled with tears, but he said nothing. The entire office fell silent, embarrassed by the scene. That evening, Ali's boss called him in. He expected appreciation for his hard work, maybe even sympathy for Hamza's mistake. Instead, his boss said words that pierced him deeper than any criticism. "Ali, your talent is unquestionable, but your anger is destroying your reputation. Clients don't only see our work, they see how we handle crises. If you cannot control your temper, you'll not just lose this company's trust, you'll lose people's respect." Anger can burn bridges that take years to build. Learn silence, Ali, before your anger ruins you. Those words echoed in Ali's heart long after he left the office. That night, as he sat in his dimly lit room, staring at the ceiling, he thought of all the times anger had damaged him, of friendships he had broken, moments with his parents he had spoiled, opportunities he had lost. The very next weekend, while wandering through the old part of the city, Ali stepped into a small bookstore. His eyes fell on a thin book titled, The Power of Silence. Curious, he bought it. Inside the book was a story about a wise monk who had trained kings, warriors, and common men alike in the art of mastering anger through silence. The monk believed that silence was not weakness, it was strength under control, a shield that protected both oneself and others. Moved by the words, Ali sought out the author, who was still alive and teaching at a nearby meditation center. His name was Ustad Rahim, a calm, elderly man with a long white beard and eyes that carried the depth of oceans. When Ali visited him, he confessed, "Master, my anger has become my greatest enemy. I shout, I hurt, I regret, but I cannot stop. Please teach me the power of silence." Ustad Rahim smiled gently and replied, "Anger is like fire, my son. Fire is not evil, it can cook your food, give you warmth, and light your path, but if uncontrolled, it burns your home to ashes. To master fire, you don't throw more wood at it, you contain it. To master anger, you must contain your tongue. When your tongue is silent, your mind gains space to breathe." He gave Ali 3 lessons. Pause before you react. When anger rises, do not speak. Count your breaths. If you cannot control your words, at least control your silence. Change your focus. Walk away if you must. Anger grows where attention stays. Shift your focus to something neutral until your storm settles. Reflect later. When calm, reflect on your anger as if it happened to someone else. This distance will make you wiser. Ali agreed to practice these lessons, though he doubted if something so simple could truly change him. Life never delays in testing us. A few days later, Ali was driving to work when another car suddenly cut him off, nearly causing an accident. His natural instinct screamed at him to shout, honk, and curse. His hand gripped the horn, but then he remembered Ustad Rahim's first lesson, pause before you react. He closed his eyes for a moment, took 3 deep breaths, and kept driving silently. Surprisingly, instead of boiling hotter, his anger began to cool. He realized that shouting would not have changed the reckless driver, it would only have ruined his own peace. For the first time in years, Ali tasted the relief of silence. The bigger test came at home. One evening, his younger brother borrowed his laptop without permission and accidentally deleted some important files. Ali's heart pounded with rage, his voice ready to explode. But again, he remembered, silence is strength. He closed his mouth, walked outside, and stood under the night sky. He looked at the stars and breathed. 15 minutes later, when he returned, his brother was in tears, apologizing. Ali calmly said, "It's okay, mistakes happen. Next time, please ask first." The relief and gratitude in his brother's eyes told Ali that silence had protected not only his brother, but also his own dignity. Weeks turned into months, and Ali practiced the art of silence daily. At first, it was hard. His ego often whispered, "If you stay silent, people will think you are weak." But experience proved the opposite. How his silence made him appear stronger, more composed, and more respected. At work, his colleagues noticed the change. He no longer erupted in meetings. Instead, he listened patiently and responded calmly. Even when problems arose, his silence gave him clarity, and his solutions became sharper. His boss, once frustrated, now admired his maturity. At home, his parents saw in Ali a gentle, understanding, patient. His friends trusted him more, confiding in him without fear of judgment. Slowly, the fire that once burned everything around him was now controlled, warming and lighting his relationships instead of destroying them. 1 year later, Ali visited Ustad Rahim again to thank him. "Master, your lessons changed my life. I have controlled my anger, and silence has become my power." The old man smiled. "Remember, my son, silence is not the absence of words, it is the presence of wisdom. Speak when your words can heal, guide, or inspire. Stay silent when your words may wound, divide, or destroy." True power lies not in shouting the loudest, but in choosing when to remain silent. Ali bowed deeply, tears in his eyes, for he understood that silence was not a punishment, it was a gift, a shield, and a guide. From that day forward, whenever anger tried to rise within him, he remembered, "Silence is my strength, not my weakness." And in that silence, he found peace, clarity, and true control over his life. This is the story of Ali, but it is also the story of countless people who struggle with anger. Anger is natural, it is human, but uncontrolled anger destroys relationships, careers, and peace of mind. The power of silence teaches us that we do not need to suppress our feelings, but to master them. When we control our tongue, we control our life. When we choose silence over reaction, we choose peace over regret. And when we master silence, we discover that true strength is not in shouting, but in listening, understanding, and responding with wisdom. So the next time anger rises in you, remember Ali's journey, remember Ustad Rahim's wisdom, and choose silence. Because sometimes, silence is not empty, it is full of answers, healing, and life-changing power.